Hey there, it's Jennifer Trask coming to you live from the outdoors again. And in this blog post, I really wanted to talk about something that was really fun. I'm going to keep it short and to the point, but this one is about men and women and communicating in business. You know, it's really, really important in our industry that men know how to communicate with women and women know how to communicate with men. So there's just a couple of tips that I wanted to talk to you about. And I'm going to give you an example. I don't know if you can see this, but here in the background, there are some trees that fell over. And if I was out here with a friend and we were out here discussing and she noticed and she might ask about the trees that fallen over, then I'd probably go into a story about how the tree fell over and what happened, and I'd probably say, I remember that night we had this big windstorm, and then the power went out for a while, so then we got out the candles, and then we ended up, we made hot chocolate, we put on the fire, and then we had some of the neighbors come over, and we did, and I could go on and on about the story about how the tree fell down. That's not actually how it fell down, I'm just using it as an example. I actually don't know how that tree fell down. But the point is, if it was two guys who were out here, they'd be like, they'd probably just look at it and say, yeah, so you got to clean up your trees, hey? And that would probably be it. Or they might mention the fact that, yes, it was that storm that we had this winter. Men and women are so different. Women are storytellers and men like headlines. And if we can learn to understand that and appreciate that for what it is, we're going to be so much better off as communicators, as effective leaders, and as building rapport between prospects. So what I wanted to really talk about was that for women, remember that we're storytellers and that is how we connect. Funny enough, I was talking to one of my business partners the other day, and we had this hour conversation, and I said to her at the end, I said, we could have had this conversation in 5 minutes, but because we're women, we told all the details. Then we kind of talked about it again, and by the end of it, we were very happy with our conversation. But I realized, God, we're such typical women. We just compound all the stories and the little things, and then the detour that got us back to the story. And so, for women, this is how we communicate, and it's fabulous, and it works for us. But men, not so much. So, a tip is when you're communicating with men, try to keep in mind they don't necessarily care about the story. So maybe try to shorten your story or learn how to give mini headlines. And for the men, when you're talking to women, first look her in the eye, let her know that you're listening to her story, and maybe you might want to ask some questions that will help direct her towards the answer that you want to get. And when you can go into it knowing that she's not trying to annoy you, she's actually trying to get to know you and build a relationship with you, and therefore show that she respects you, that's a compliment to you. And so honor that and know that that's a woman building a relationship. And hopefully if you can get a man and a woman who know these things, then maybe the story won't be as long-winded as it would be with two females. But just know that that's how females work. And so men, if you want to get to know more females and really build good relationships with them, ask them questions and listen to their stories and reiterate some details that you've listened to them, you've heard their story. I mean, our industry is filled with women. It is, I think the statistic is 80% women. Don't hold me to that, but I'm pretty sure it's very, very high. And women are very, very important. They're the main decision makers in homes. So you want to get to know how to communicate with us if you're a man. And for a woman, you really want to get to know how to better communicate with the men, because men are also action takers. Not that women aren't, but men are focused and on track, and sometimes that allows them to get more work done quickly because we sidetrack and we're multitasking all the time. And there are strengths to both of them. And I love being a woman. I love storytelling. I love learning about people. I'll ask questions all day to learn something about someone and their life story. But I think this is really important. Just a special note. And if you have any other men, women secrets that you know of, please comment below. I'd love to start a discussion on this. It's an important topic, and really understanding how people work and understanding how people communicate is the number one skill that will get you anywhere you want to go, whether it's in our industry or anywhere in your life. This skill will get you there because people just want to be understood and heard. So that's it. Can't wait to hear your feedback. We'll see you next time. Bye.